We have another garage project here. It's in this box. So we've got the Hobart welder. We have some distillers in here. The 94 Saab 9000. The Yamaha bike, which isn't in here. It's out in the shop. And this now. Something I thought maybe I'd take a stab at and shoot some video of when my spare time exists. Get away! It is a turbo Seca seat with the grab bars, and I am going to attempt to restore it with the seat cover that's on it. I had a pretty good run with my Maxim. The bars on this looked in really good condition, and the seat pan wasn't too bad either. It's got a little rust. Paper out of the way. It actually does not look that bad at all. Easily treatable. We'll check the foam out, see if any of the foam needs to be replaced, and then we'll see what we can do with foam's dry right there. Just from touch. And what I see so far, I would say this is a good candidate for a full restore, which I will probably sell on eBay. So we'll see when I get time. We'll pull the cover off, pull the handles off, check out the foam, replace what foam we need, and then we'll start seeing what we can do with fixing this cover. This cover is actually not bad. It's a little dry, but I can bring it back. So here we've got a 1982 Seca Turbo seat, complete with the handlebars. It's in, I think it's in restorable shape. We'll see. There has been some shrinking of the material, but I think we can patch it where there's a tear there. Probably need to reinforce these sections. This is going to have to be sewn back together. It's still pretty pliable, so I think we can work with it. First things first, we need to get this cover off. A combination of staples, or is it all tabs? It's all bent. It's all tabs. Let's lay it on the side to make this a little easier to deal with. Did not want that to happen. I'll have to fix that. My Maxim seat actually is plastic base, the pan's plastic, and you just staple it on. So you get a little bit of extra help there, reinforcing areas. With this, I mean, you've got these retaining teeth here. And that's a protecting edge, and it looks like it. I don't know why it's right there. Should have been over the edge. Last one. Okay, now we gotta take the handles off. Yep. Why do I have so many copies? Handle's in really good shape. Just needs to be cleaned. So really, the only thing, we're missing one seat bumper. Everything else seems to be here. I guess we can go ahead and take this off while we're here. Take off the latch. Grab an extension. clip down in here holding seat cover right there. Looks like it might be a hog ring in there. Yep, it was a hog ring. Holding this is a piece of steel wire right here. Keeps that tucked in, which is why this split. Whoops. Stuff on. Definitely got some rust to take care of, that's for sure. A little bit of damage pulling it off, but nothing major. It's just back here. Honestly, I don't think there's any need to do anything with this right here. If anything, I'll lay a little bit of Jeep right here. This phone's in really good shape. Sides are a little worn. Not too bad. They're kind of thin. We'll pad those. Reinforce that a little bit. This pan needs some work. Need to do something about that rust. I've got some black vinyl I can repair that with. I can sew that back together. I'll still reinforce it. I think that'll be fine. Let me clean it and soak it for a bit and then we'll come back. I would say it was a tad bit dirty. That's almost 5 gallons of water and you can still see the dirt in it. It's looking good though, it's pliable. I don't know if the sponge will come back. We'll see what we can do. The jar's getting empty. Find something to scoop it out with. The main thing with this is to try and get some kind of oil back in to replace the plasticizers that have come out of the vinyl. And I found that virgin coconut oil seems to do a really good job. You could also use vegetable oil probably. This smells better. And it's good for your skin. It's good for your skin. It's going to be good for leather, and it will be suitable for vinyl as well. So we did a hot soak with detergent. We did a hot rinse. It came out wet. We dried off the surface, and while it's still warm and it's still, you can see sections of brown. That's what the vinyl looks like when the pores are open on the surface. That's when you're going to get the oils to soak back in. See right here, this is still black. This is still black. May not accept as much. We'll let it sit overnight, and then we'll may have to take the heat gun, warm it up a little bit, or hair dryer, so if we can't get some more to go in the pores. Make sure you get down here in these heat creases. That's good for now. Let's come back tomorrow and see if it still looks oily or if it's soaked it up. Soaked some of it up, but let it cool off. And there's still some brown splotches here. Put it on, let's see, medium. Do a little more airflow than that. This hasn't dried out completely, that's why it's still brown. this sit and cool. Let's wipe some of this excess off and see how it is. It's definitely still pulling dirt out. I'd probably give this one an 8 out of 10 on refinish. I'm not gonna have to do a whole lot to it. See what I can do with the foam. Once this stuff dries out, there's not really a whole lot you can do with it. You can't replace it because it's heat stamped together with the vinyl. This is more thinner than the sides. That's why there's such a texture difference. Not much you can do with that. Whole lot I can do to bring material back. But I can soak it again. I don't know, it's still damp on the back a little bit. I think we're going to have to let it dry completely. It's still damp. Just let it dry out. I'll give it a couple of days to dry out. Then we'll come back and do another treatment on it. I cut a swatch of black leather out. I'm going to use this instead of vinyl for this patch. I went down each side and cleaned off where the heat stamp was on both sides. It's going to rest, make sure everything's flat. It's going to rest in there like that. The first thing we need to do is to cover this area on the back here with glue. And I'm using 3M yellow super. Stage 2, let's see, it is 08090. I have a piece of paper under here to catch the excess. How far do we need to go? work. Now we need to coat the leather. I want them to peel up. Alright, I'm gonna have to put weight on it. Alright, let's see how it looks. Alright, I'm gonna have to get some vinyl repair to fill this gap right here so it'll blend in. I don't have anything right now with me that we can use to fix that with, but I think that patch will work. I don't really want to sew it across here because you'll see the stitches. I mean, there's fake stitches here, but that's in the middle. It doesn't do us any good. So I think I'm going to leave it as is. I will get some material on order to fill these gaps with. Next part we need to work on is this rip right here. This needs to be stitched and reinforced with a strip of leather like we did the other part. So most of the original seam is there. So I think if I stitch onto the original stitch seam here, I don't know. See how that's starting to tear right there. I think I can overlap that enough to do it. We'll have to use this. We'll have to use this seam right here though to stitch on, which means the stitches will be visible back there. But at least it'll be in a tucked section. It'll be in a crease, so it won't be quite as visible as something like this that's flat on the side. We'll work on that next. Well, the stitch repair is done. Doesn't look too bad. I'm happy with it. It's not too obvious. I mean, it's going to be like that in the seat anyway. I'm going to glue this foam pad back down so it won't move. And I've got actually double stitch black cotton, and then I have some heavy duty upholstery thread in gray in between them all the way across for extra retaining power. Now I'm also going to take cut a swatch of the black leather. I ran out of vinyl, but I have a big roll of black leather. Take that and I'm going to glue it probably up the side here around, and then come out maybe 1.5 inches across, and I'll have to make a pad for it to hold the shape, so that I'm going to glue extra support on here. We'll cut out for this so this pokes through, just to give this a little extra support in here. I mean, the stitches will hold. It's not a primary crease in the seat like it is on the 550, where pretty much your lower back pushes down right up on it. That's the reason I did a cover patch on that, to help pull some of the stretch tension off the stitches. This will hold without it, but I'd rather have it on there to be safe. So this is dried well. We need to glue that down. This patch is looking good. I think we're about ready to wrap this one up in some plastic and let it marinate. Just got to finish that right there. I've got to find some vinyl cement and some black dye to fill that. I'm not going to be able to match the pattern very easily, the stitch pattern, but at least it'll help it blend in, and it's, it's down on the side, so I don't think it'll be as noticeable being where it is here. If it was up here, it'd be a little more obvious. We'll make sure we treat this well. I may actually put, I don't know, debating whether or not I want to put a piece of leather across the stitch along here, this whole section right here. I mean, I could actually cut out a piece to fit the whole thing and sew it along the existing line there. think that's strong enough to attach to it. I would still glue it down anyway. Go along the edge here and stitch it right here. And are there any rips? We'll also have to repair any tears along the rim. I missed that right there. That's where it folds over around the pin. I'll have to use a piece of leather for that. I'm not going to be able to sew that. It's too brittle. That looks like it melted. I have this tear here. Same thing. We'll have to stitch a leather strip across here. I'll see what I can find for padding. I don't think I'm going to be able to pad that any more than it is. It's got to be even or it won't look right. I may just glue it down as is. When we put the leather over it, it'll bolster this a little bit more.